السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا أعزائي طلبة وطالبات الشهادة الإعدادية. وبقدم لكم النهاردة مراجعة ليلة الامتحان في اللغة الإنجليزية. معاكم مستر سامح عبد الهادي. نتفضل كده مع بعض ونشوف السؤال الأولاني وهو سؤال الدايلوج. هنا complete the following dialogue between. لازم نقرا طبعا الهيدنج. جورج is meeting a tourist. جورج بيقول له are you visiting Egypt on business or on holiday. فلازم نكمل الدايلوج، نتعود ان احنا نقرا لاخره. فهنا في first space وفي second space ده question. قال له I come from London، يبقى هو سأله عن المكان اللي هو جاي منه. جورج بيسأله فقال له Big Ben is the most famous place، يبقى هو سأله عن ال most famous place in London. What interests you most in Egypt، هنقول أي مكان. نكمل I hope you will enjoy your tour in our country. طيب نرجع تاني. Are you visiting Egypt on business or on holiday؟ هيقول له I'm visiting Egypt. أنا هنا براحتي بقى أقول on business أو holiday، فنخليها on holiday. Where do you come from؟ I come from London. Question. Big Ben is the most famous place. يبقى what is the most famous place in London؟ قال له Big Ben is the most famous place in London. أنا بعتمد على auxiliary verb أو helping verb الموجودة عندي في الإجابة، هو ده اللي بستخدمه في الquestion. يبقى what is the most وبكمل famous place in London. What interests you most in Egypt؟ ايه اللي بيهمك او اللي بيشدك في مصر؟ هيقول له مثلا Egypt monuments interest me a lot، او what interests me most is the Egyptian people، الشعب المصري، وهكذا. أو the Egyptian monuments، الآثار المصرية. I hope you will enjoy your tour in our country. Thanks a lot. طب تعالوا نشوف الدايلوج التاني مع بعض. عندنا فين the following dialogue. فتحي is reading an article about global warming. يوسف and فتحي. يوسف what are you reading؟ طبعا هنا هيقول له I'm reading an article about global warming، بس نستنى شوية لأن هو هنا بيقولوا what is the article about. يبقى أول سبيس هنقول I'm reading an article، والتانية هنقول I'm reading an article about global warming. global warming فهيسأله فهيقول له it means the increase of temperature. يبقى what is the meaning of global warming، أو what does it mean. what does it mean. طيب نشوف بعد كده. What does it mean? It means the increase of temperature. Can we solve this problem? Of course we can. What can we do? We can solve it by planting more trees. Or how can we solve it? I think you are right. Or it's a good idea. Or I agree with you. طيب نشوف next dialogue. فين is the following dialogue between Salma and Ihab. Ihab went to the planetarium last week. Salma, where did you go last week? I went to the planetarium. سلمى تسأله سؤال فقال لها I went with my friends. Who did you go with؟ I went with، يبقى who did you go with. الكويستشن الانسر هنا عندنا في الباست، فلازم نستخدم الاوكسيلري فيرب did، يبقى who did you go with، او with who did you go. سلمى how did you go there؟ ممكن نقول I went there by bus. We saw a film about ancient Egypt. يبقى what did you see there؟ what did you see there. طب did they use stars to know when the Nile flooded؟ Of course they used the stars to know when the Nile flooded. طيب ودلوقتي نتنقل another question. Read and complete the text with words from the list. وده عليه 4 marks، بنركز في كل كلمة عشان ما نغلطش وما نقصش أي درجة. is are star shape shop and bright. This natural lake is a 3-hour drive from Hurghada. The lake called يبقى هنا هو عايز يقولك تسمى، يبقى is called. The shooting دي عندنا في الليسن shooting star by locals because it is believed that a piece of a star, a meteorite اللي هو نيزك, fell into it. The lake is cut out of the rock in the of an eye and is filled with. يبقى هنا المترويد ده لما جه اصطدم بالارض فعمل شكل العين، يبقى in the shape of an eye. يبقى نمبر 3 هتبقى shape with the blue water. هنا طبعا بنتكلم على الكالر بتاع الووتر، يبقى bright blue water of the Red Sea. It is described by the visitors as one of the best places to dive and swim. تعالوا نشوف السكند question. عندنا the word team preserved يعني محفوظ، preserving يحفظ، belong ينتمي إلى long، ويونسكو اللي هي منظمة اليونسكو. In 2005 the fossils of at وادي الحيتان were studied by a of international scientists. يبقى a team، يبقى number 1 team. The fossils were really well and some of them were 21 meters in length. يبقى the fossils were yes preserved محفوظة. It was discovered that the whales to the same family of animals as camels and giraffes. يبقى هنا الحيتان بتنتمي لنفس العائلة بتاعت الجمال والزراف. يبقى belong. The fossils are so important at وادي الحيتان was called a World Heritage. هنا a UNESCO World Heritage يعني موقع تراث عالمي تابع لليونسكو. يبقى هنا a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2005. تعالوا نشوف نمبر 3. عندنا species يعني فصائل، وبتقال برضو species. 2 4 covered مغطى، biting spices. There are about 30 different هنا هنقول species of mongooses. ده حيوان النمس in the world. A mongoose has a long body with short legs and a long tail. Their bodies are by thick fur. يبقى covered by thick fur. Mongoose can see and hear very well, which help them find food. Help them يبقى to find food and avoid danger. Mongooses are famous for fighting snakes. They are able to kill snakes by biting them. Number 4 burning, renewable, solar cycle, recycle. If we keep fossils fuel, if you keep be followed by verb ing يبقى burning fossil fuels اللي هو الوقود الحفري. Climate change will get worse, so we need to use cleaner energy. cleaner ايه بقى؟ renewable energy. طيب هنشوف وهنتأكد such as solar energy يبقى احنا كده صح. and wind power. We must start recycling more rubbish and stop putting rubbish in landfill sites. If we more paper, if we بقى use ولا recycle؟ طبعا هو هنا recycle. We can avoid cutting down our forests لان هما بيصنعوا الورق من الفورست اصلا، من الغابات ومن الاشجار، فاحنا نعمله ريسايكل، فمش هنقطع شجر تاني عشان نصنع منه ورق. عندنا اللي بعد كده tradition. weavers. weavers دول الناس اللي بيعملوا في الغزل اللي هو weaving thread. waves موجات. loom اللي هو الجهاز اللي بنصنع بيه اللي هو النول اللي بنصنع منه الغزل او بنغزل منه الخيوط وبنحولها ل يعني منسوجات. visited و visits. weaving is an Egyptian tradition. هو ده تقليد مصري او صنعة تقليدية. but there aren't many traditional ايه بقى؟ weavers in Egypt today. يعني مفيش اشخاص بيعملوا في الغزل هذه الايام. so I was surprised to see 3 weavers working on traditional looms. اللوم دوت اللي هو الجهاز اللي بنغزل بيه الخيط. loom. when I the reform studio in Cairo. when I ايه بقى؟ يبقى هنا نشوف I was surprised، انا كنت مندهش، يبقى دي في الباست، يبقى when I visited في الباست، لان I طبعا مش تاخد visits اللي فيها اس، لازم نختار يا اما visit without اس، يا اما visited في الباست عشان السنتنس في الباست. last exercise هنا عندنا initiatives اللي هي المبادرات، green seedlings شتلات صغيرة، using sailings. There are many green across the world which are helping to protect the environment. يبقى هنا في مبادرات حول العالم تساعد أو بتحملها البيئة. initiatives أول واحدة initiatives. There are projects to build solar farms to create إيه بقى؟ green energy الطاقة النظيفة أو الطاقة الصديقة للبيئة زي solar energy. There are projects to plant seedlings الشتلات and trees to give us cleaner air. At home people are choosing to إيه بقى؟ to use rechargeable batteries and energy saving light bulbs اللي هي اللمبات الإنارة. يبقى هنا to followed by infinitive يبقى to use. طيب هنا لحد كده بنقف في الاكسرسايز دوت، وهنشوف نوع تاني من الاكسرسايز مع بعض. ودلوقتي يا جماعة مع سؤال البيوجرافي، وده سؤال مهم جدا. تعالوا نقرا مع بعض البيوجرافيز المتوقعة اللي ممكن تجينا في الامتحان. عندنا أول حاجة a biography of فاروق شوشة. فاروق شوشة is one of the most famous people who worked in the media. فاروق شوشة is a well known يعني مشهور راديو presenter مقدم برامج في الراديو مشهور جدا. He was born in دمياط in 1936. He went to Cairo University. He graduated in 1956. He worked as a radio and TV presenter. He liked poetry and Arabic literature. He presented many programs on the radio. In his programs he used to talk about the Arabic language. For this reason people call him the guardian of the Arabic language. He helped many young people in the field of media. He used to give them advice on their work. I think he is a good model for young people to follow. Another review about global warming. Global warming is one of the most dangerous problems. It has bad effects on our environment. It can lead to floods because of the melting ice. In some areas there would be more drought يعني جفاف and the killing of many species وقتل فصائل متنوعة أو كثيرة of plants and animals من النباتات والحيوانات. There are many reasons for this problem. Pollution is the main reason for global warming. طبعا التلوث هو السبب الرئيسي للاحتباس الحراري. Cutting down trees and forests can also cause global warming. From here we must find solutions to this dangerous problem. Firstly, we should stop making pollution. Secondly, we must start planting more and more trees. If we did that, we would help our environment to be a good place for people, animals, and plants to live. Okay. A story you read. Write about a story you read or you have read. Recently I have read a wonderful story. قرأت قصة رائعة. The story called Black Beauty. It was written by a writer called Anne Sewell. The main character in the story was a horse called Black Beauty. It told us the story of horses and their life. بتخبرنا عن الخيول وحياتهم. Black Beauty had difficult life. He worked for many people. Some of them were good, other people were very bad. Black Beauty was a kind horse. He was also beautiful and strong. The story teaches us about animals and how hard they worked. This story had many morals. يعني فيها دروس أخلاقية مستفادة. The writer wanted to teach us that we should treat animals well and be kind to them. A review of natural wonders of Egypt. Egypt has a lot of natural wonders. في عجائب طبيعية كتير في مصر. People should know about them in order to visit them. The most famous natural wonders are the White Desert National Park, Al Nizak Lake, and جبل علبة. The White Desert National Park is an amazing place. ده مكان طبعا رائع جدا أو مدهش. Because it contains 5 oases. هنا 5 واحات. طبعا oasis واحة لو في I هنا، لكن لو اتحولت لإي طبعا يبقى ده irregular plural form من oasis اللي هي واحات جمع. 5 oases with rocks. It is a wonderful wonder because هي ليه شيء عجيب أو عجيبة. The colors of the rocks change and look beautiful. Nizak Lake is called shooting star. It has the shape of an eye. It is one of the best places to dive and swim. Jabal Alba is a national park. Although it is a desert land, it is usually green and home to many animals and birds. نشوف كده another form of diving. Different habitats. There are many different habitats around the world. These habitats يعني في بيئات مختلفة are important for the life of people and animals on earth. The main habitats are coastal. ايه هي بقى الاماكن او البيئات المختلفة؟ البيئة الساحلية coastal, grassland البيئة العشبية, wetland الارض الرطبة, the polar and polar habitat البيئة القطبية. The coastal habitat is found along the coast of the sea. طبعا البيئة الساحلية اللي هي على ساحل البحر. The grassland habitat is usually found between mountains. دي الجراسلاند ما بين الجبال and deserts. It is a home of some animals. The wetland habitat is often covered by water. الويتلاند أكيد أرض مغطاة بالمياه. The polar habitats البيئة القطبية are found at the top and the bottom of the earth. في شمال وجنوب الأرض. دي طبعا بتبقى البيئة القطبية. They are covered by ice. They are the habitats of polar bears. The temperature there is freezing. درجة الحرارة هناك طبعا متجمدة. Without these habitats, some animals would disappear from Earth. A review of things we can recycle. Recycling things has become one of the most important things these days. We should start recycling because it is a good way to help our planet. دي طريقة كويسة نساعد بيها الكوكب بتاعنا. There are many things we can recycle. We can recycle paper, plastic, water, and other things. If we recycle paper, we will avoid cutting more trees. This will help to reduce pollution. We can recycle water to use it again for growing plants and washing cars. Plastic objects can be recycled. We can use the recycled plastic again for making many things such as bags, bottles. We can recycle cotton and wool to make clothes. To conclude, recycling is very important for both people and the environment. A review of a green initiative. طبعا أي حاجة فيها green يبقى دي helping the environment يعني بتساعد البيئة. يبقى المبادرة الخضراء لمساعدة البيئة. There is a green initiative in Africa called the Great Green Wall. This initiative started in 2007 by African Union, الاتحاد الأفريقي. The aim of the initiative is to solve the problem of deforestation. دي بتحل مشكلة قطع الأشجار أو تدمير الغابات. The Great Green Wall initiative will plant millions of trees, seedlings and plants across Africa from east to west. This will create a growing green landscape. When they finish planting the trees, the wall will be 8,000 kilometers long. The initiative will have a lot of good results. It will create jobs for people. It will help farmers grow more crops. In addition to that, it will also help to reduce the problem of climate change. عندنا برضو another review which is a review of forms of renewable energy. يعني مصادر الطاقة المتجددة أو أشكال الطاقة المتجددة. Renewable energy is the best form of energy that we use these days. It is good for the environment. There are many forms of renewable energy. They are solar energy, wind power, and hydroelectric. The energy from the sun is called solar energy. The wind can be used to make electricity. We use wind turbines to make electricity. We can use water to make electricity. This form is called hydroelectric. بيستخدموا المياه في توليد الطاقة الكهربائية وده اسمه hydroelectric. We must use these forms of energy instead of fossil fuels for many reasons. They are green. green يعني بتحافظ على البيئة أو صديقة للبيئة. They are cheap رخيصة and continue for a long time يعني بتستمر لفترة طويلة. I mean they are reusable يعني يمكن استخدامها مرة ثانية. All countries now have started using all these forms of energy. Okay? The importance of satellites. Satellites have become very important all over the world. We have used satellites for many things we do every day. We use it for GPS, weather reports, تقرير عن الطقس والجي بي اس، تحديد المواقع، TV and internet and mobile phones. GPS is used to show us the way. We use satellite for weather reports. كمان بتستخدمه عشان الطقس. Satellite allow us to study the weather. They show how clouds and storms are moving. We also use satellites for TV and the internet. Lots of people have satellites TV so that they can watch their favorite shows and sport matches. Satellites are used in mobile phones. Satellite phones can work anywhere in the world. They are very useful in places far from cities, such as on mountains or in deserts. A biography of Farouk el-Baz. Farouk el-Baz is one of the most important scientists in the world. Farouk el-Baz is an Egyptian American space scientist. كان عالم فضاء and geologist وعالم جيولوجيا. He worked with NASA. اشتغل مع وكالة ناسا in the scientific exploration of the moon and the planning of the Apollo program. He is one of the most important scientists who had done a lot of research before the first man walked on the moon. يبقى هو عمل أبحاث قبل ما أول إنسان يمشي على القمر. He helped astronauts to land on the moon. ساعد رواد الفضاء إن هم يهبطوا على القمر. He gave advice اداهم نصايح to astronauts to collect the rocks on the moon. He has studied deserts and he used satellites to find underground water in the desert. His work has helped a lot of countries to find water. A review of different jobs in the media. There are different jobs in the media these days. There are many people who do many jobs. All the jobs are very important. A news reader reads the news on a radio or TV. A journalist writes news, reports and articles. A camera operator's job is to film things. ده اللي بيقوم بالتصوير. A presenter المقدم presents a program on radio or TV. There is also an important job. It is the job of the director المخرج. An editor المحرر is a person who decides what should be in a newspaper or magazine. There are also some jobs that belong to social media. There are web designer مصمم موقع على الانترنت. Web designer design websites بيصمم مواقع. I think all these jobs are very important in our world today. A review about your personal goals and ambitions. It's important to have goals and ambitions. It is important to work hard to achieve them. I have a lot of goals and ambitions. أنا عندي طموحات وأهداف. When I leave preparatory school, I'd like to go to technology school. My dream is to become a robotics engineer. I have other goals. I want to work as a volunteer for a charity. I want to meet new people. I want to improve my skills. So I want to join an online course. When I finish my university, I'm going to get an internship اللي هي دورة تدريبية أو منحة تدريب. After that I will set up my own business. هقوم بإنشاء أو بتشييد عملي أو البيزنس الخاص بيا. I will have a company that will make robots. نشوف another and last review. A review about future technology. In the future, there will be some forms of technology. these forms will affect our future. One of them is driverless cars. Driverless cars will help us to travel anywhere without touching the controls. يعني هي بتمشي لوحدها. They will depend on electricity. They will be better for the environment. Some experts, بعض الخبراء, believe that we will have to wait until 2030 to use these cars. Although the driverless cars have a lot of pros. Although the driverless معلش دي غلطة. The driverless cars have a lot of pros يعني مميزات advantages. They have some problems. They need a lot of testing to be safe to use. We will have to make new laws. We also will have to make our roads better. We need change road signs so that computers can read them well. هنا مكتوب things معلش هي المفروض signs SIGNS اللي هي اشارات عشان الكمبيوتر يقدر يتعرف عليها. طيب لحد هنا انتهى بارت 1 من مراجعة ليلة الامتحان. ارجو ان كلكم تكونوا استفدتوا من الريفيوز اللي احنا قريناها ديت. دي طبعا احنا بنحاول نجمع منها اكبر كم ممكن من الافكار عشان نبقى عندنا خلفية عن الموضوعات ديت. لو جاب لنا اي موضوع من دول يبقى عندنا اي حاجة ان احنا نجمعها في دماغنا ونكون منها sentences ونقدر نكتبها وناخد الدرجة بتاعتها. وبرضو نركز قوي في الكويستشن بتاع الكومبليت او fill in the gaps وكمان الدايلوج. دي نهاية بارت 1 وان شاء الله في بارت 2. اتمنى ان كلنا نستفيد من الريفيجن ديت واتمنى لكم كلكم التوفيق. وما تنسوش طبعا التعليق بالحاجات اللي احنا عايزينها والاشتراك في القناة وان شاء الله دوس لايك باذن الله. شكرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.